was.
We have to talk about the crash quickly because we haven't referenced the fact that you have a pink
and I'm
cast on
injured
your
right
hand
now.
for an hour into the podcast.
Yeah.
And he's got a pink cast on.
Yeah, I crashed.
It was a great day.
Yeah, it was a great day. When is that video coming out?
It hasn't come out yet? Okay. Stuff is on a pretty big lag.
Yeah.
Obviously. So I don't know. I guess any week now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know their schedule of, I know they, their deliverables. I know what days they post.
Mm-hmm.
As far as when things come out, I don't know. I would guess in the next week or two. So we get Kenny over, we don't know how big of a step down it is, but it's pretty big. 80 feet?
It's not small.
Probably, or would you guess more or less?
I don't know. Yeah, I would say 80, 90. Yeah. It's big.
It's pretty big. It's third year, basically wide open, like on my 450 coming out of that corner.
The thing with this jump is that you fall from the sky.
Yeah, step downs. I've said this before in the podcast. I don't know how you feel about them. Maybe you don't like them as much as maybe you once used to. Step downs, I'm not a fan of because you are falling from the sky a little bit.
Yeah, even that other step down up top where the old entrance used to be at 508, like where we parked the van at class.
Yeah.
That step down there.
Yeah.
I didn't jump that until
that one
this year, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Believe it or not. That's not a hard jump.
No, not at all. But step downs are, they're unnecessarily dangerous sometimes because you are coming down from the sky. They're hard to time because they're usually blind.
And yeah, you can't see. Exactly. You can't see.
Yeah, so this is a pretty beefy step down, but you won a free private lesson, 12 days of Christmas. And so I'm like, all right, let's spend a couple hours. And usually I wouldn't bring anybody over to a big jump like that. But
we had the same idea.
Yeah. I'm like, screw it. I think you're ready. Let's piece this together. Let's jump it.
Because I asked you, I was like, do you think I can hit that jump? And you were like, that's what I was thinking about the private lesson should be. I was like, me too.
Yeah, cool. And it was perfect. So you eyed it up a couple of times. You watched and listened to me jump it a couple of times, but didn't take very long. And then you just went for it. I think first time you jumped it, you clipped it the tiniest bit.
I cased it, not a lot, but a good amount. But it wasn't out of control.
But handled it perfectly. Also, the one thing I was most impressed by the first time you jumped it was like the attitude of the bike. You had the front end pitched pretty low for somebody jumping something first time.
My dad told me I jump like Hanson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good compliment.
Especially on that Stark, because if you blip that throttle too early on the Stark, you're landing Axel Hodges.
Yeah. So you were perfect. This is on the Stark, by the way. You were perfect. Which horsepower?
67.
Whew.
Not a little bit.
That's a lot of ponies. So 67 horsepower on the Stark. Still pretty hard on the gas coming out of that corner, probably to clear it, right? Clip it a little bit first try. Second try, OJ'd a little bit.
Greased it. Second try.
Greased the second try. Third try, OJ'd a little bit. But all three were happy. Like they made me happy. And I get nervous very easily. So like the fact that I wasn't scared, I'm like, oh, he's dialed. So basically I'm like, oh, well, this is a quick video. We get you sessioning a few times, make you look good. And then we moved on to a corner, get the corner dialed super quick. And then, it's kind of a deja vu moment because very similar to at the end of class when I'm, taking pictures or people are buying tour shirts. I'm hanging out with everybody. And then all of a sudden somebody comes running from somewhere. Oh, person's down. Because that's when people get hurt at class.
That's happened at 2 of the 3 classes I've done.
Really?
Yeah. The first Bromax was that KDX dude. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He crashed real bad on that straight.
Yep. And it's always after class ends. It's always, and that's why we're warning people at riders meeting. I'm like, I don't want to jinx you guys, but hey, know when to stop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden somebody comes running over and they're like, I think Kenny's down in the way back. I'm like, gosh darn it. So I hop on, I start riding back over there, and the girl that works there at 508 is riding your bike back.
Oh, it was the girl?
Yep.
I thought it was some other dude that was riding that day.
No, at least by the time I saw, she was the one on it. And bars are all mangled. Things are like falling off. And I'm just like, but I don't see you yet. And I go a little bit further. Grant's on the back of the bike. And then you're on the quad with Russell.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is that his name?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think track owner, right?
Yeah.
That's who came and got you?
Yeah.
And right away, as soon as I saw you, I'm like, oh, he got it. He hit his head. You could just tell.
I couldn't see for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you were doing the good old, tell the same story over and over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. You told me how you crashed 25 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What else? You repeated a few things over and over and over, which is super normal. And that's when you know. But before you even said anything, I could tell just by like the look,
the 1,000-yard stare.
Face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, darn it. And where they were pulling you out from was the highest speed part of the track. So I'm like, either you wadded, down the tabletop straightaway where you're going a million miles an hour, or on the jump coming back. So I'm like, either way, it's probably not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, end of the day. And what did you end up? What was the actual?
I had a laundry list of injuries. This thumb is shot, so the plateau that like your thumb rotates on like that broke. So like under here, it's actually my hand more than my thumb. But do you remember I was there trying to pop my thumb back into place over and over? I couldn't get it in.
Yeah. That's because there was nothing to get it into.
There was nothing to hold it in place. So my thumb was just floating around in my skin pretty much. My x-ray, you could see it looks like someone took my bone and just snapped it in half like a potato chip. It wasn't shattered, thank God, but like, yeah, the bone.
So did they use that piece of the bone and pin it back somehow?
Yeah, so I have 2 pins in here. There's one, she told me, going through that piece of bone into the other piece of bone. And then I think there's one holding my thumb onto, I think there's a pin here that goes into this part of my hand, holding my thumb.
Are they confident your hand will be 100%? I
haven't heard anything too.
Was there concerns of that at the beginning?
I can't really feel my thumb that well. It's pretty numb. Like, I think it was last week I got this cast off. My splint off and the cast on.
Yep.
Because after I got surgery, they wanted me in a splint for a week just to make sure it didn't. Because I guess it's common for bones to reject. Would you just lip yourself?
No, right off the tooth.
I guess it's common for bones to reject metal like that. I'm sure you've had metal.
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah. So, I've had ACL surgery and that's it.
Yeah. So I guess it's common, not super common, but your bones could reject that metal and try to push it out. So they wanted to make sure that wasn't happening. So like I said, I was in a splint for a week and I went back and got this beautiful pink cast.
So far so good, minus not much feeling in that thumb or no feeling in the thumb?
I have feeling. Like I could feel the tip of my thumb.
Yeah.
When they took it off, I was like feeling.
Yeah.
I could feel
it's
everything.
Probably normal at first too, just because your nerves might be a little messed up.
Yeah, and I'm not using it. I mean, it's wrapped up. It's inside of this the whole time. So, and so yeah, it's pretty numb around here. So this is the worst part.
Yeah. So that was the hand. What else did you have? You had other stuff other than that.
Everything was my right side. So I don't know how I have no clue how this happened. I can't even. There's
so many ways it could have happened. It could have happened on impact while you were still on the bike.
Hand blew through it, I think.
Totally. The bike could have hit you after you fell. You could have fell onto that side. You could have fell onto your hand. I bet you though it was something to do with the bike. So probably very well could have been just on the impact before you even crashed. That would be my theory.
Yeah. And so I took, everything was on my right side. Like I hit my head on my right side. All the scratches are on my right side of my helmet. Like this shoulder's pretty dislocated.
So that was dislocated?
It's an AC separation.
Okay. Yeah. And grade what? Do you remember what
3.
they said?
You had 4, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
but
they weren't sure.
Pretty serious. So you'll have that little bump forever, probably.
I was thinking about getting a tattoo. I'm not for tattoos, but I was thinking about getting like a staircase or something. Just something stupid on there.
It's a nice icebreaker, like story. Like everybody always asks about it, and then I can tell. I did mine in Australia. It's just it's a story.
Yeah, yeah. So grade 3 separation, my thumb. They told me I broke my back, like had 3 cracked vertebrae. But they said that it might not be from this injury, which is interesting because when else could I have broken my back and not known it? So
I've heard of that being a thing before. Where they catch old injuries in an X-ray.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like it hurt obviously. Like it felt like I broke my back and I couldn't sit up.
Did you do ribs?
Yeah, I broke 2 ribs here.
So that could have been what?
And I broke 2 ribs here.
Oh, well that's why you couldn't sit up.
1 and 2. Okay. It was more here that hurt.
Ouch. I mean, any ribs hurt. Was that your first time doing ribs?
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, I've been in the hospital before.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.